All right. Excited to be here in the lead up to Super Bowl 59 with Jim McCoy, AVP of Sports Marketing at Nationwide. You spent 20 years of your career mostly connected to sports. Maybe tell us a little bit about how Nationwide's commitment to sport has evolved, the leagues you're involved with, and then we'll kind of finish with the NFL.
Yeah, Nationwide has had a presence in sports for 30 years. I've been with them for 20. Evolution, we've been in golf that entire time. Went into NASCAR, cut our teeth there a little bit, and been with the NFL for the last 11 years, which has been pretty remarkable run for us. All sponsorships have had a pretty consistent strategy of how do we build a brand through them, how do we build business, and then the community philanthropic side of what we do. And I've had a lot of interesting opportunities to connect with different audiences through the use of sports marketing.
Amazing. You also have you show up for leagues across a portfolio of sports. Maybe tell us a little bit about the leagues that aren't the NFL, that are a little more grassroots in nature.
Yeah, we've had different relations over the years. Right now, we're with the NWSL, and have had a great 4-year partnership with that growing league, and different opportunities, different challenges with each property and each partnership that we have. But are really excited to help them build something big that continues to get bigger and better every single year. We've got 14 different team partnerships. We launched a new platform in the Lauren Holiday Impact Award. So it presents opportunity to try new things and not get a lot of no's, and it's a lot of let's figure the stuff out together, which is fun. And you balance that with the NFL that has been around 100 years and established and obviously has a massive audience, and we've got great platforms we can activate on that sponsorship as well.
So this year, you're the presenting sponsor of the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Can you tell us a little bit about that and some of the athletes that you get to work with?
Yeah, it's an incredible filter. We've been very fortunate to work with the best of the NFL through that platform, and all the NFL folks that were on here earlier talking about trying to elevate the players and get to know the players. And this award is, for those that don't know, recognizes players for what they do on the field, but more importantly, all their efforts off the field. We'll select our winner Thursday night at NFL Honors, and again, this is our 11th year attached to the award. The Payton family is incredible. We've worked with them, Connie and Jarrett and Brittany, to continue to keep Walter's legacy very, very strong. But all 32 teams have a nominee. It gets narrowed down, and ultimately there's one Man of the Year each year. But it's incredibly amazing to see the stories of these great men and what they're doing and the impact that they have in their communities. And hard to they're all winners, but we do have to select one Man of the Year on Thursday.
So the commitment to what they do off the field and their impact to their local communities, are there any stories that stand out that would be worth sharing with this group?
I think there's each year it's really personal, and you can see it with these men, and you want to have your brand associated with these really genuine, authentic people that they get it, and we've been very fortunate all the talent that we've worked with, both whether it's Peyton or Dale Jr. or Jack Nicklaus, Alex Morgan, some of these others, but these 32 men that we get every single year, and it's new stories. You think back about Dak Prescott 2 years ago, that the story of his mother passing away and his brother committing suicide, and the impact that had him, and who he's trying to make the world better through their memories. It seems like it's really personal to them and kind of their why. Each year we do a call with all 32 nominees, the commissioner and Nationwide, and just let the players talk, and that's where they get out and talk to Cam Jordan here in New Orleans and what the impact that he's trying to have here in this local market. Others, their hometown, and the impact that they can have on the kids and the families and the others that have lifted them up along their way, which is just really rewarding to see and fun to get to know them each and every year.
Yeah, your tagline, "We're here for you." That ethos within your company, it feels like this is a very natural pairing. Can you talk a little bit about the ethos that Nationwide tries to bring through this sponsorship?
Yeah, it really taps back into our mission and what we're trying to be on the side of our customers and our policyholders. There were those that are trying to live in retirement, or the things that are going on in property casualty space. But we do more than just hang a sign in this partnership. We do more than just cut a check in the community. There's volunteer hours. There's things in the cities that we live and work in that we want to make them better. So culturally, we're in a value standpoint, we are totally aligned with this platform and what these guys are doing, which makes it a lot easier for us to, amplify their story and shed a little more light on what they're doing and do it in an authentic way. And there's the financial commitment that we have behind and the millions of dollars that we want to put to, give them even more opportunity to do great things the next year coming off of their nominee or their winning effort.
How are you amplifying some of their stories? What channels, whether it's social engagement, pushing television? Yeah,
the great thing about the NFL, it's become an all year round sponsorship, and there's something every month, and we've tried to carry the Walter Payton Man of the Year platform almost every month where we can. Obviously the draft and the launch of the season and playoffs and Super Bowl are big tent pole moments. But our nomination window kicks off in December. So really December, January, and through Super Bowl, heavy activation of, talking about those 32 nominees. We have 16 different team partnerships that we're activating the sponsorship at a local level. We create content with NFL Films this year on Christmas Eve. For the first time, we created a 60-minute special with Omaha Productions and the NFL Films that ran on ESPN and just goes deeper into these stories of these guys, and just was really well received. A couple million people watched that. So we're trying to find, digital social content. We've worked with Omaha again, Payton's company, on 5 or 6 players that we just go a little bit deeper of what they did in their community that year. We work with former players leading up to the Super Bowl, and we worked with Jerome Bettis today, a former winner, doing some PR for us. We have guest programs that we bring our former winners and current nominees to spend time with our leadership and our business partners. So we try to get that 360 activation. And again, we're blessed because we have such incredible men we get to work with and have a real connection. It's not like we're paying a speakers bureau to hire a player. They realize Nationwide's an invested partner in something that's very important to them, and they know that we're all working together to try to elevate the platform.
So what you're doing from your side of it, kind of the organic partnership with the athletes themselves, how do you create kind of a halo effect with your paid advertising engagements with Peyton Manning, who kind of fits nicely here, but how do those two worlds coincide here at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, this is our 11th year with Peyton as well, and he's been the face of our brand campaigns for a number of those years, and it just so happens he's a former Walter Payton Man of the Year, and it can talk about that story in an authentic way when it matters as well. We've been dedicated theme creative around the Walter Payton Man of the Year platform as well, and all the other specific digital and social and promotions that we do around it. I think having Payton be kind of that continuity across every touch point. We were just with him in Austin last week for a conference, with our life insurance business, and he's able to get up there and talk about, Nationwide is more than a business. This is really important to them. They supported me in our charitable efforts. They support this platform, and it just connects different with the audience in the room. Our partners that we're going to see this week all have the means to come to New Orleans and go to the Super Bowl, but it just hits different when they sit in honors and they see Nationwide brought throughout the broadcast, in the last award of the evening ahead of MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and all these other things is the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year presented by Nationwide. And it lands just differently.
It's such a great way to show up. Live sports is also changing. We're seeing that big sport rights are up for negotiation with big streaming, big technology companies making a play with Thursday Night Football going to Amazon. Apple TV is getting in the game with certain sports. But how does that open up new opportunities for you to maybe take some of these stories and tell them in unique and different ways, as what was a traditional linear channel becomes a little more digital centric?
Yeah, it's definitely a little more fragmented, and you got to spread the money a little bit differently, but it also presents a huge opportunity. I was talking with our partner, we're the jersey sponsor of the Columbus Crew in the MLS, and with their move to Apple TV, the difference between the quality of the broadcast, the shoulder programming, the player profiles, and other things that happens for the Crew, and we have some elements that we sponsor within that is night and day from what it was with Bally's or the regional sports network. So there's upside for that. There's other challenges, but I think we've really been intentional with our media spend to work with our media partners to tell the stories that we want told, whether it's the Lauren Holiday Impact Award and working with Paramount and CBS around the championship weekend last year in Kansas City, and our 14 nominees and our ultimate winner, Jen Beatty, and the great things that she's doing in her community, or the last month of the season during the playoffs. If you watched a broadcast, they always highlight the Man of the Year nominee for that team that's playing in the game, and kind of the storytelling that goes around it. So I think just it's a lot of upfront work with our advertising team, our media team, and all of our media partners to figure out where we want to try to invest, and then ultimately what is our message. We've launched a new campaign of So Much More. Nationwide is so much more, which fits really well with these men and these women. There's so much more than just athletes that are playing soccer or playing football, and the things that they're doing in their community. So we had a good connection point that we could carry through many different elements of our spend.
Yeah. We've heard a lot today about the ability for sports to move culture and to move society forward. Can you talk a little bit about I lost my train of thought there. How that you measure the impact to brand. So clearly these are dollars well spent. They're investments that are worthwhile endeavors, but how do you quantify the business impact to these?
Yeah, it's a question I've been trying to answer for leadership for 20 some years, and you got to have. We've got incredible CMO and Ramon Jones that believes in live sports, believes in sponsorships, but we've got as much data as we can to validate all the different areas that we're working in, and some of it's top of the funnel brand studies and brand awareness and familiarity consideration, all the things we're trying to pay attention to. The great thing with Peyton and the work that we've done, the quality has been so good, and the creative that we put out there, he just breaks through at a different rate and makes that tens of millions feel like hundreds of millions of dollars to spend at times, because we are not. It's a competitive category in the insurance and financial services. We are not a top spender, but being attached to a big platform like the NFL, we feel bigger than our actual spend is. So there's some ad effectiveness that we're paying attention to. There's the earned exposure. Talking with our friends from Nielsen and others that in the room that have helped us with that over the years, and just trying to see all the different places that Nationwide is showing up through these partnerships. And then there's what business is being driven out of this. We've got a great partnership with the Kansas City Chiefs and their 401k for their team, and we're in many other different teams and partners in that space. So just trying to find all those immediate business results, and then kind of the bigger top of funnel stuff as well.
What are some of the emerging either channels or opportunities that you've seen in the last few years that maybe haven't either had the scale or the ability to meet your business objectives? Are there any emerging channels, emerging technologies that you're excited about relative to your role?
There's always, we try to stay up on what's next and what's coming, and how to keep our brand relevant with different audiences and different targets. I think the challenge for us, as I mentioned, to budget, we would like to be all things to all people and test and learn and all these different areas. We don't have that luxury at times. So we've made the intentional decision to take a couple of things and just go really deep. And I think that's trying to be creative on an annual basis, with these sponsorships being multi-year relationships, and what you're learning and applying those learnings and to improve and find new and creative ways. And with Man of the Year, we've had the Charity Challenge, which is a social media effort that we've had the last couple of years with the challenges and changes in X. We went more online, and we had 7 million voters of fans voted for their nominee for an additional cash donation to their charity. And that was last year was about 80-20, with 80 in X X and 20 online. This year it flipped, to 80% online. So we're always learning there. All True we've worked with to drive real fundraising and trying to find ways to put, the more fan dollars into these charities as well. So we're always trying to do something and find new platforms and ways to connect the man of the year with the fan base.
Talking a little bit about the creative now, you have some really amazing, funny creative. You get to lean into the personalities that are kind of built in. Is that organic, or do you work collaboratively with your creative agencies?
Yeah, we've got a great Ogilvy and Mather out in New York. They basically, when Peyton came back on board in 2014, Ogilvy is the one that came up with Nationwide is on your side many, many years ago in the 60s, and they'd been our creative agency. But we took a little break, and they came back in 2014 and have done a fantastic job of evolving our campaign. We've played a little bit of music with her and a few others that have come through, Brad Paisley. But yeah, they've done a really good job. And I will say Peyton is very active in the creative process as well. He does a good job. A lot of that's ad lib. He'll throw his own lines into it. So it's a fun process. And our creative team is top notch. And that, as I said, it breaks through at a different rate and connects in a different way based on how good it is.
And then your media agencies, how involved are you at collaborating in terms of synchronizing tentpole events with media bursts? Tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, it's gotten even better. We have some reorganization to kind of get our all team, collaborating together, and it's been awesome to see us lean even more into the NFL and make sure that all the assets that we have and the Shield and everything that we're doing with the NFL is working as hard as it can. And we saw that this fall, and really from start to finish, and excited about kind of wrapping it up here this week, and then kind of getting ready for draft, which we had a good kind of launch last year in Detroit, and we'll be excited to activate that with some new creative and maybe some new talent in summer or in April. I
was going to say, is there any tease you could do for the draft?
Yeah, I think there will definitely have some new. Peyton will have some company. We'll have some folks that will be able to work with him, and it should be fun. We want to keep the campaigns fresh and tap into the men of the year, and but also the unique platform the draft has become.
All right. Well, maybe we'll pass it to the audience to see if there's any questions for Jim.
Fellow marketer as well, and I really appreciate the working slimmer, being creative. It's great. What are you as a marketer most excited about this week?
I think it's just we all put a lot into our work, right? And it's always incredible to see, the work product that, we've been, we did site visits down here a couple weeks after last year's Super Bowl. So it's been a big, effort these last, 12 months to be ready for this week. So I think, seeing the platform come together Thursday night and our winner getting up and delivering an impactful speech and how all of our guests and leadership around to see and touch the platform that close is always really rewarding, because it's such a wonderful evening, but it's capped with just such a strong emotional moment that we're attached to and had some influence on that, which is always pretty cool.
I guess I have one more question. Is there, has there been a moment where either a competitor, someone in your category, or it could be outside of the category, where you saw that relative to sports marketing and thought that was genius?
Yeah, I mean, I would say our category in general has done a really good job, and look at what State Farm has done over the years with Aaron and Mahomes and Kelsey and all the many of these guys that are nominees and Men of the Year and other things. So I think there's ways to our competitive set have. With us having and USA having kind of exclusivity within the league, there's others that have played right on the edge that I think they've done a good job. They've got a big media budget and spend there. So there's a little bit of that, but I love what our access and what we're doing and the platforms that we have around. But I would love to have a Geico budget or a State Farm budget or an Allstate budget to be almost, it feels like everywhere at times. So but we're excited about the NFL partnership.
Last question. So bet responsibly, but a few lines. This is not advice. This is just an opinion. We have Kansas City -1.5. Chiefs are the over-under is 48.5. And then the money line is Kansas City minus 123, Philadelphia plus 103. If you were a betting man, which one of those would you take?
I'd take the Chiefs. I got my boss is an Eagles fan, and I'm rooting for the Eagles, but I can't. It's hard to bet against Pat Mahomes. So.
I agree. Last chance for questions. Okay. Thanks so much,
Thank you.
Jim. Appreciate it.